And hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are at Derail Valley a bit, hey? I thought it would be a nice change to do something else for this video, so we will be playing Derail Valley today. Now this is like I freaking lost count how many times I've tried to record this video. It's about, I think, the 8th time now. I had some serious issues with the audio. I recorded it twice yesterday, and one I recorded basically a full video, and the audio was just gibberish. So I changed a few settings, worked the midnight oil a little bit to figure that stuff out. I think I figured it out now. Should be better now, or I should have been able to figure it out now. Spent a lot of hours on it, so hopefully this audio will go alright in this video. So we are here at City Southwest in Derail Valley, which is an appropriately named game. I derail a lot in this game sometimes. Was just not paying attention or something. Anyway, let's see what jobs we have here at City Southwest. Well, I did the first recording. I went from Harbour Town to where we are now. Actually, this job that's lying right here is actually the one we brought here during that video. But I don't see, because I don't want to do shunting. I don't like shunting. I don't see any nice stuff we can do today here. Let's maybe go back to Harbour and Town, I think. Just need to see. Here's my map. Where do we want to go to? Let's try Machine Factory though. Let's see if there's something interesting here maybe. Allow me to... There we go. Fast travel with locomotive. Let's just fast travel and see what is there. And then we'll decide what we want to do. Okay. Interesting sounds. Let's see what's here at Machine Factory. What jobs do we have here that we can do? Also shunting? Nope. No shunting. Food factory, goods factory. Geez, these jobs don't pay out that much. Hey, I think let's go back to the harbour. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Let's go back to the harbour. Harbour and Town, sorry. Let's see what we have there now to do. Yeah, there we go. Let's see what we have here at the office. A lot of stuff, so I'm just gonna throw all the shunting stuff here at the bottom because I don't want them. Don't want to do shunting. I think you guys will see in basically all the railway games that I do play, simulators I should say rather, I do not like shunting. I don't like it at all. I don't know, I just don't like it. I like taking a train from one place to another place, but to do shunting sucks sometimes. Okay, so we have another deliver gasoline and diesel load we can take. 89 minutes, and the tonnage 712 tons. Train length 232. It's not a very long train, but it's pretty heavy. And the power is quite good. So let's plop that one down there again. And then I'm just gonna check if there's not maybe something else we can do. So that one goes to which one? City Southwest. So we're here at Harbour Town, as you can see there, Harbour and Town, and City Southwest is over here where we were when I started the video. So if we're gonna do this route, we're gonna go from Harbour and Town up this track, and then we go left, and then up here, and then left again, and then through Farm and Oil Well Central, and then we get to City Southwest. So if we can get a job that goes to Farm or Oil Well Central, we can take that one as well. But here's another City Southwest one actually. Might just leave that there. Steel Mill, no, that one's going to... Yeah, you see we have to turn left on that junction over at that switch over there. And Steel Mill is over here, so that one's not going to work that great. So let's see if there's not maybe another one. Goods factory is all the way in the other direction, and food factory as well. Okay, so that's the only jobs we have. I think I could make more jobs by doing some shunting, but I'd like to keep this video a bit shorter than the other ones. So let's see. Yeah, I think let's do these two then. It goes to the same place, so it should make it a bit easier, because they're going to the same destination. The only pain in the ass with that is the dropping it off, and I have two different loads to drop off. Now I'm not going to activate the order yet or validate the order yet. As you can see, it's a little trick I've learned playing this game, is to assemble your train before you start the job. Then you have more time to finish the job, and it basically almost guarantees that you get the time bonus money at the end. That is if you don't screw it up or something, like I have done plenty of times before. So let's go look for our train. It's night now at the moment though. Let's go see here in the E yard, or if this train is in the E yard, but I have a suspicion that it might be in the G yard, but let's just check, be thorough. Or I might be wrong, this might be the train right here. So you see the train number on the job card. We have the train number, so we can go ahead and see where our trains are. Okay, so this one is definitely our first train, HBFH57, and that is on the job card, so we know where the one train is. So what I like to do is, as I found a train now, I'm going to start setting up the switches for it now. So that one goes to the left, that one also left, but let's just first check if the other train is not also here. I just want to get it. Yeah, this one. This one is a bunch of freight cars. This one weighs less, so we'll put this one at the back. Let's just see. HBSU, nope, not this one. Is there another freight? There is, but that one doesn't look long enough by a long shot. But let's see. I might be wrong. Nah, that one's not the right one. Or was it this one? Oh, here it is, yeah. HBFH40. So this is the other train that we're going to take. I'm going to put this one at the back because it's the lighter one. Let's just check our track switches. I'm going to go to that one first and then this one, and hopefully there is a D6 here for this run. I maybe should have checked that first, because this one I'm not going to do with a steam train. I do like to do the steam trains in this game, but I have, like I said in a previous video of mine, I have a very short-term memory. My short-term memory quite sucks, and I'm a very forgetful person. So with steam trains, that's a problem. You can't be a forgetful person, because I keep forgetting to keep an eye on the water level, and then my steam trains promptly blow up like halfway through the journey. So yeah, quite a dilemma, and I really need to practice that more, but today I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood to practice that. Okay, so we have, I think this is a D2, what was it again? No, it's not a D2, this is the DH4, sorry. It's not the D2, that other small thing, that's the DE2. So we have one DE6, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. So this one's 521 tons and this one is 712 tons. That's easily over 1,000 tons. Let's see, with the DE6, it's 1,000 tons rating on a 2% slope in wet conditions. I always look at the wet conditions. If you use that one, you are basically guaranteed to whatever you take can go anyway. So yeah, I usually use that figure. So that's 1,000 tons, so we're technically gonna need 2 of them. I wonder if this might actually help the brick, or the slug as it's called, which is just a dead unit, doesn't have a cab. It just transfers the power from the locomotive, it's connected to the traction motors, so it splits up, not splits up, it divides, it divides the power among all the traction motors then, between this and the locomotive itself. So it's just, it doesn't add power, it just distributes the power. That's the word I was looking for. It's a power distributor, basically. It just distributes the power sent from this locomotive through its traction motors as well as that traction motors, giving you theoretically more traction. So actually, I think I might do this as I prefer to use two DE6s, so I just hook them together as a multiple unit, and then then I usually put it like that. But today that's not going to be possible because there's not another DE6, so we might as well use the slug then. So I'm going to open my window. So long. And let's get our locomotives ready. Let's put the traction motors on and the circuit breakers, and let's go start her up. Love doing this. Lovely sound. I'm a big fan of diesels. I do love diesel locomotives. Have a very nice sound. Okay, so our headlights, that one goes to rear, that one's front. Let's put one on, and let's go align the turntable quickly before we bugger it up. I think actually, are we going to be able to get the bloody slug? No, I think I'm going to have to use a D2 to get that thing out of there. But alright. Just makes the process a bit longer, but oh well. There we go. And let's get her on the turntable. Oh, I'm forgetting the handbrake. That's a problem. But now it's gonna try to run away, so we need to be quick. Not doing everything by the book here, but I'm having fun with it. It's a pretty fun game. I've been playing Derail Valley for about, what's it now? I think it's been a year now since I've bought the game, and I have a couple of hours in the game. It's pretty fun game. I like playing it. Why am I doing that? So let's just align it with the track, and then we put it on that one, and then we'll try to get a slug out. Too far. There we go. So like I said, yeah, I like this game. It's a very nice game. It's fairly decently modeled. I like the physics engine in this game is pretty good actually. I don't really know if the locomotives are modeled exactly as they should be modeled. I am unsure. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. But as far as I can surmise, it's done pretty well. And there are a bunch of YouTubers that I also like to watch that play this game, that are real world railroad engineers or are in the railroad industry across the globe. So I think if they're happy with it, I'm happy with it. So let's try to get the slug out. Don't know exactly how I'm gonna do that, but I think let's try it with the DE. I don't actually think this thing is gonna fit. I wonder how I got it there then. I don't think this thing is gonna fit. It's gonna fit on the turntable for sure, but I don't know if it's gonna fit with something else on the turntable. Just want to see how far is it off. Yeah, it's pretty far off. It's not the same. I think it's that one is the main one. Yeah, that's the main one. This is gonna be a bit of a pain. Unless we only take one of those loads. I mean, I can try. But I know for a fact this thing's not gonna fit. Or rather, this thing is going to fit, but it's not gonna fit with that and this. So I don't actually know how I got this thing here. Or am I just having a brain fart moment? I think I'm just having a brain fart moment, but anyway. I think if I remember actually correctly, I just drove this thing in here with another D2 because I went to collect this thing with a D2. That I remember fairly good. How long was this thing? Not long enough. You know what? I think I'm just gonna take one of those jobs then instead, and not both of them. I'm not in the mood to struggle with this crap now. It's a lot of up and down in this game. So which one I'm gonna take then? Okay, so I think I'm just gonna take the gasoline and diesel order today then, which is fun. Just go past this switch and then we switch it over and then we just haul it all the way back to the E-yard for our train. There, we're past the switch now. We're passing, sorry. I think we're past it now. Let's get our little remote. To the left, yes. Now, all the switches from here to the E-yard basically should be set, I think, except for the G-yard off siding switch or whatever you call it. I can't remember. Now, yeah, you guys are going to see in this video I'm a much better pilot, a virtual pilot, than I am a virtual train driver or engineer, whatever you like to call it. Where I'm from, we don't call it an engineer like they call it in the States. We just call it a train driver. That's the gist of it. I'm actually going to just switch my rear lights to a normal white light as well, so I can see what I'm doing at the back. So yes, we don't call it a train engineer where I am. We just call it a driver. So yeah, I'm a pretty bad driver. I'm not that good. But you guys will see that in this video and probably in future videos as well. Now this is a career session of mine that I started many months ago, so it's pretty far along already. I have most of the licenses. I think I only short one of the military licenses and one other license. I must actually check that sometime. I can't remember, but most of the licenses I do have already. It's only the one. Yeah, it's a military license, and I think for the diesel hydraulic locomotive, the the DH something. I can't remember which one it is, what it's called, but I don't have a license for that one because I basically skipped it while I was doing it. I was just thinking, I was looking at how to drive the locomotive with the gearbox and all that stuff, and I was just thinking, if I can skip this, I'm going to. So I actually don't have a license for that locomotive. It was just a big pain in the ass to drive, in my opinion. I don't like diesel hydraulics. Diesel electric is that's the way to go, I'd say. Nearing our train now. This one is set correctly. And left again, yes. And then that one over there should also be left. Come on, there we go. So left, 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 all the way to that to that train, our train over there. But I need to practice a little bit more with the steam chains though. Jeez, I'm very bad at the steam chains. It's not that I'm bad at them, I drive them properly, it's not that, that's not the problem. The main problem is to remember that water is a thing and that the boiler needs water. I keep forgetting that. So then the thing just blows up, or I blow something up. Sometimes it's just my own stupidity. But we will screw around with the steam chain somewhere. On the channel for sure, and in other train sims as well, hopefully. But I love trains as well. It's not my passion. My passion is aviation. Since I was a little boy, aviation has been my passion. But I grew up with trains. My father used to be a train driver in his earlier years. Been a train driver for over 15 years. So I grew up with trains in my life and learned a lot from him as well. So yeah, I just grew up with it. It's just something that gives me good memories of my childhood, I guess. But now we need to concentrate, otherwise I'm going to slam into this cars and break everything. I don't want to be too fast. Just slow it down nicely. And now we just let it coast into the cars. That's nice. We connect the nope, not like that. Connect the air hoses and open the angle cocks, and then we hope and pray that yes, this one was the one with the handbrake. Sometimes it happens that the handbrake's on all the way on the other side, and then you need to run all the way that side and come all the way back. It's a mission. But let's just set up the lights quickly, and then we'll go set up our EOT lantern. So we actually need to run to the back anyway. During the day I don't usually put on the EOT. Sometimes I just forget to do it. The EOT lantern. We don't have EOT devices in this game. I think it's based off the an earlier time. I think I'd guess if this game was based on a time, be probably in the 90s somewhere. Let's just make sure that this one's handbrake is not on. It's not on. And all the air hoses and angle cocks should be fine by default. But let's go check that anyway. If the brake pipe reservoirs and stuff doesn't charge up nicely, or as it should, then we know something is wrong with an angle cock or a hose pipe somewhere. So let's just check it, and no, it looks fine. The main reservoir is fully charged and the brake pipe pressure is fine. So everything is set there, so we can actually get a move on now. Just make sure our brakes are off. We put it in notch 1 just to pull out, otherwise we might break a knuckle or derail a car somewhere. We just do this slowly. Then as we go out, I'll just hop out and go start or validate our job, I should rather say. I'm just going to make sure this windows are closed, because this locomotive can be loud sometimes. I'm going to need to gain some speed with this one. We have a very, I don't know, you guys that play Derail Valley will know that this hill, the going out of harbor is quite challenging, especially if you have a very heavy train. So like today I don't have a very heavy train, but we are 300 tons to our maximum 2% wet grade capabilities, so it might be a bit of a struggle to get up there. So I'm going to try to get some speed as we go out of the yard here. At least not above 40. We'll stay between 30 and 40. I prefer to be at 30, and then after the last bend I start accelerating, because we don't want to flip a train over as well in the yard. So here we are, almost approaching. I think I'm gonna hop out now and just run to this one we are leaving. So I'm just gonna drop it there. We're not taking this one anymore. Don't have the power to do so today. So where is it? That one. So let's validate it, and then we start the job. You see 0 minutes elapsed, which is how I like it. So now we have a full 89 minutes to be able to finish this job all the way to City Southwest. It shouldn't take us more than half of that, I think, but that is also if nothing else goes wrong during the journey. So we'll just hope for the best now, or rather I must just pay attention. That would be probably the best advice. Nah, it's too dark. Just actually want to see what's the sand level on this. Okay, no, the sand level is fine. So I manually service my locomotives. I like manually servicing them every now and then. So I would, for like 2 sessions, play the game and just drive whatever I want to, or the locomotives I want to, and then I'd store them. And when I get into the 3rd or 4th session, for example, and then I just for a half an hour just quickly service all the locomotives I've used recently. It just saves a lot of money in this game. There's no achievements in this game. It doesn't have a reward system as normal, like if I would compare it to Train Sim World and stuff like that. You have achievements and stuff you can collect and get, where in this game you do have collectible items, like for instance the slug I just showed you guys. It's a collectible item. You don't get that from the right off the bat. You need to go physically buy a key somewhere at one of the stores at one of the towns, and then you have to go search for that garage for that key, open it, and then you get something. So you have collectibles, yes, and then the other only really reward system you have in this game is getting paid. You get paid to do what you do. So the speed limit here is 40. Just keep it there. So every cent you save is it's a good thing in this game, because trust me, if you derail or something, it costs a lot to fix it. Because you technically pay insurance, or you have a co-pay system. How it works, I'm not a financial guru. I don't know what that is. I have no idea how that stuff works. I just play the game. So we're losing a bit of speed now, so let's go to 2nd notch. We might need to introduce some sand. Let's see. Just also have to keep an eye on our traction motor temperature up this hill. Although the DE6 doesn't have a problem with this stuff, it's a pretty powerful locomotive in this game, so we shouldn't have problems with the temperature at the moment. But for instance, like the DE2 is a highly underpowered locomotive. Up this hill, you are basically on the verge of overheating your traction motors constantly. So it's a balancing game you need to play with if you go with the D2. And there's a few tricks that you can do to help you out with that as well. But yeah, it takes practice. That's why I like the D6. It doesn't complain, it just does. So I think I might actually introduce some sand now, just to give us a little bit more traction, and then I can reduce the throttle a little bit. sander is damn loud in this game. I don't know if that's real, if some of you are real drivers or know if it is like that. I don't know if it's that loud in real life. I don't know. If you can let me know in the comments down below, guys. Speed 70 now, still uphill. It's gonna be all the way uphill. Actually, let's get our map out. Let's set it down on our little table. It's basically gonna be uphill all the way to this point. Uphill all the way. And then it's a even grade, slightly a even grade, and then it becomes and then it's downhill from there, basically. I think I can remove the sander now. I think that has given us enough speed. Just increase. It levels out a little bit here, at least. I'm not going to go all the way up to 70 kilometers an hour now, because there are a few speed restrictions on this section of the tracks, and if you go all the way to 70, you are not going to be able to stop in time or reduce speed in time for the other speed restrictions. See, for instance, 70 and now it's 40, so you wouldn't have enough time to accelerate to 70 and then come back to 40 before this sign. You're not going to be able to do that. Maybe if you're a very, very, very light train, but it's better to keep the speed in check. And that's the other thing about this game that's different from like Train Sim World or Trains or something like that. I don't know specifically how trains work, but Train Sim World I've seen. It gives you like a map, a vertical display, if I can put it like that. Like in the aircraft you have a vertical display mode, which you can get the vertical path of the aircraft. You get like a vertical display at the top of the screen that will tell you, okay, in 2 miles you get a signal, in 2 miles there's a speed restriction, in 4 miles there's a switch, something like that. This game does nothing of that. You need to physically look at the map, physically set your switches manually with the remote or by hand, and you need to learn the tracks. Where are your speed restrictions, what you can do and what you can't do on the tracks. You need to physically go out and experience it and learn by experience. So I think that's what they call the Derail Valley simulator for sure, because you have to derail a lot to learn how this stuff works. I've swam in that river before as well. It's not a pleasant surprise. It's leveling out a little bit here. Just want to reduce speed. Okay, now the needle's coming down, so I'm just going to put it back up to increase it with 1 notch at least. And just keep it there. We have basically all the time in the world to do this one, so another 70. A lovely early morning departure out of Harbour and Town. 60. I'm gonna stay at 40 during this uphill. The locomotive is settled now, and I'm not gonna screw around with it. So I found if the locomotive is settled, you can slowly make adjustments, or increasing it or decreasing it. But this route is going to, for now, the speed is going to change a lot, you see, so I'm not just going to leave it where it is. I might actually just go back to notch, I think it's 5 now, around this turn, and then we'll just see. I think there should be a switch up here now. That should be aligned left already. it's already aligned for us, so we can just continue. Okay, just increase the throttle again because the grade is climbing a bit now again. Let's hear a horn quickly. I must say they have improved the horn sound on this locomotive. This locomotive in particular's horn, when I got this game, was pretty horrendous. It wasn't good at all. I can't really describe how it sounded. It just sounded fake. Now it sounds still not the best. I think I've heard better horns in Run 8, but that's a very hardcore sim. But for what Derail Valley is, I think it's good. It's better than what it was for sure. But I love the steam chains. You can the steam chains horns you can manipulate as you would be able to in real life in this game, and I love that. It's freaking cool, man. Back to the steam chains topic. I do love steam chains. If I am allowed to geek out a little bit here, I love the stuff. It's the engineering behind steam chains. Steam chains for me is just amazing. Just to think, a couple of 100 years ago, some guys basically mounted a massive kettle on wheels, and it revolutionized the world. It just blows my mind. So I do love steam chains. I'm just horrendously bad at driving them. So here we're gonna get a little bit of a downgrade. I can't actually remember what the speed restriction here was. I think it was 60. I think. We'll just keep it at 50, because we should be round about there now. Use our throttle a little bit. Just keep the speed under control at about 50. I think they did a wonderful job at the landscaping for this game. It's a fictional world, but or as far as I can surmise, it's a fictional world. But they did a very good job with the landscape and the scenery. It just looks very nicely. It's nice to look at while you drive around. Something that I've wondered in the past is what this train sim is based off of. Is it based on a real, like, countries or railroads? And excuse me, Gilly. Oh, sorry. If it's based off of something in real life, if is the railroad in Derail Valley based on a railroad in real life? As far as I could surmise, or what I could have gathered thus far, I don't see it based on a specific area, but I do have a suspicion on where it is based off, but I am unsure. If you guys know, you can let me know in the comments as well. If one of you knows, that would be quite interesting to know, because I do have a suspicion on where it is based off of, but I think I'm gonna keep that to myself for fear of making a big fool of myself, because I'm not that good, well versed in railroading. When it comes to aviation, I can speak quite confidently about something because I have done the research and I know it, but with the trains I'm still learning. Just a nice hobby of mine. It's actually funny, I don't know if anyone else has noticed it before, but a lot of pilots fly for a living and then do train stuff as hobbies. I know a bunch of pilots personally that is like that. It's flying for their day job, and then over the weekends they help out at a local steam conservation organization or something like that, which is quite funny in my opinion. And 60. Just want to see, this switch should be fine because it's aligned from the other direction. Just want to see how we pass through here. What's the next speed restriction? I think it's also 60 if I remember correctly. No, it's 80. I'm just gonna increase the throttle now to about 3 because it's a little bit of an uphill here. Now, something I need to remember, we are there now. So we're gonna go onto we're gonna go right here onto this track, but here there's a massive speed restriction, I think to 50 or 40. It should be 50 or 40 if I remember correctly now. Just need to check that we keep our speed under control heading over this hill. See, we have a downhill grade now, so I'm gonna start putting in dynamic to keep our speed under control, because if we let it run away now, we will have problems, or I will have problems rather. And speed sign says 90, and I've watched it go past me a lot of times thinking there's no way I'll be doing that. Specifically here, it's downhill, and right after the switch we are approaching now. We're basically a few hundred meters away from the switch now. Right after that switch, if you go straight on, you get steel mill, which is an entire yard. To go 90 through that might be a big problem. And then, or you go left, which has a speed restriction of 40 or 50. We'll see now. So I'm just going to start putting in a lot of dynamic, keeping it at 60, but it doesn't seem to want to drop, so I'm going to put some air brake on. Bring the speed back to 40-ish. I think I might have cocked this up now. Okay, 200 meters, 60. I'm reducing further to, yeah, see a speed restriction of 50. I'm gonna let loose on the air brake now. We are below the speed, so we are fine for this turn now. Actually, yesterday while I was doing recording the first video, that was a big screw up. I went through here like 70 by accident. I completely forgot about that speed restriction. Keep it under 50 until the entire train is through that switch, which it should be when we start crossing the bridge basically. Okay, maybe check quickly. Yes, it's still going through. Yeah, basically when we cross the bridge we can, I'm gonna remove the air brake. But about when we're at this river's edge, we should be past that switch completely, and then we can accelerate a little bit or just let go of the dynamic. Speed restriction 60 here. Just gonna keep it in dynamic brake 2 for now. The switch is set left, which is correct, and we have a speed restriction of 50 there as well, so we just make sure we stay under 50. And then we will go through farm, which all the switches should be set. Just make sure of it. Yeah, this one's left, that one's right. Yeah, it's so far so good. And we'll march through Well Central after farm. And and then it's basically almost, then we're almost to other way, city southwest. We're not far anymore. Basically reached the halfway point now. Another thing I've learned while playing this game is to, if you switch a switch, switch it back to where it's supposed to be, especially when you are switching in the yard and you are using the main line as well. After you're done, switch the switches back, because if you come through here and you forgot you did that, and then you just ram into another train somewhere by accident, that's not gonna be a lovely end to your train trip for the day. Trust me. The fireworks in this game can be pretty beautiful sometimes. So I'm not gonna accelerate too much, because we're going through another yard, and well, in a couple of meters, 100 meters. Like there's the board already for the switches. What does it say? 300 meters. So after that board, 300 meters, then we're already at Oil Well Central. So I'm just going to stay at 40, because there's another speed restriction in the yard of 50. So we'll just stay right where we are speed-wise. And we just mosey on through here. Lovely morning in the sim today. Can actually put the light off now, just to a normal steady light. So left, right, yes, all of that stuff is fine. Yeah, everything seems to be in order. If it isn't, we'll find out shortly. Nothing is spawning in on this line. I've had like glitches in the game where, because this line is the main line, so it usually is always, there's nothing spawns on this line, for the reason it's the main line. You are supposed to be able to pass through here, but I've had instances in the game where the game didn't know what to do, or it had a glitch, or it wasn't functioning properly, where it did load a train in there, and you know, barreling down 40 kilometers an hour with a train doesn't seem fast, but if you're barreling 40 kilometers down a line with, I don't know, 2,500 tons worth of freight, you aren't stopping anytime soon. So yeah. It's impossible to stop in time then. To see how this valley looks. That looks nice. That's why I love this game. I love it when a simulator makes it fun to play it, and at the same time you can learn something. So I like that. I like learning something while playing my games. Just a personal preference. That's why I'm so big into simulators, because it's fun. I like playing simulators, and at the same time I can learn something useful. And actually I'm gonna learn now about speed. 30, and we're at what, 45. So yeah, we should reduce speed. We're going to use the air brake. It's going to work faster now. I think we should be okay, but let's put the dynamic in. I just want to see. Put it to 2. We're basically at 30. Let's use the dynamic to try and control it now. Almost there, guys. There we have a speed restriction 50 and we're at 30, so we are fine. Gonna actually take out the dynamic now because it's pretty level now. We're just rolling into the yard now, which is I think no, we still have to pass one switch. Yes, this one. And then there in the distance, I think you can see City Southwest in the distance there already. So we just need to pass this off cut, and then we just go to City Southwest. So as we're approaching now, let's see where our haul needs to go. C3I. Okay, so we just take this train to C3I. So I already know this yard. Because we did it, I did it yesterday, so I did it recently, so this shouldn't go too bad this time. So we need to go to C3I, go to the main overview. So we are coming in from the east, right, and then we push back all the way to the Charlie yard. So we'll just keep it at 30, and we might just have to, after the second switch, yes, just have to accelerate a little bit because we have to go out of the yard to the north basically, and then push back into the yard, and there's a slight uphill there, so if we don't keep our speed there, we might just stop on the hill and it will be difficult to pull away again. I'm gonna put power on now, and now we basically need to estimate from this switch 300 meters. How long is our train again? I can't remember now. 230 meters basically. So yeah, if we go past 300 meters we should be fine. So let's see if we can guess good enough. I think should be about around about after there. Yeah, around about there should be enough, but we'll see now. I'm gonna put it to idle and let her coast. Yeah, let's put on the brakes and let she gently come to a stop, and then we run back and see if the train has passed. I think I might have underestimated it, but let's see. Or I might have overestimated it by a long shot. I overestimated it like by a long shot. Okay, but it's better to overestimate it by a long shot than having to run back and forth all the time. Okay, so this one needs to go right, yes. This one goes right. That is correct so far. And then this one here should not be left, it should be right, because this goes to the service yard. I think there's yesterday's D6. And this one should be left, yes. That one should be right, that one should be left, because there is C3I. Cool. So now we can run all the way back to our train. All the switches are set up correctly, so we can just push back now all the way into the yard, and then we are done for today. think that went pretty well. So far, I should say. We're not completely done, Dylan. I think this game is actually made for VR as well. I don't have a VR headset, but that must be fun. I'd really love to try this game in VR as soon as I get a headset. That would be so much fun. Okay, so we put the reverser to reverse, release the brakes, just wait for the brake pipe pressure to neutralize again, or depressurize I should say. Must actually go review the brake systems on these locomotives. It's been a long time since I've checked that information. Just refamiliarize. There's the word. My brain works very slowly this morning. Must refamiliarize myself with train locomotive brake systems. It's really been a while since I've played Derail Valley. Well, in the future, I hope to bring you guys some Run 8 videos as well, but that's a much steeper learning curve than this. To drive the trains thus far, as I've been practicing a little bit in Derail Valley, I mean in Run 8, driving the trains are more or less similar, if in my opinion. It's just much bigger and different types of locomotives, and much longer trains, much heavier trains as well than in Derail Valley. So I'd like to bring you guys some videos of that as well, but before that I really need practice. I really need practice and studying a little bit how the routes in the US works and all that stuff, all that like a jazz. It's a bunch of things that confuse me a lot, like how Union for example, how Union Pacific and BNSF can work on the same lines with two different signal types or philosophies. I don't understand that quite completely, why or how that is possible. But it works, I guess, and I'm just don't know yet how it fully works, but it's weird. Where I live, we have a single railway company, not entirely, but a single main one, and everything works through that. So everything uses the same signals, or same rules everywhere. Wherever you go, it's the same thing everywhere, which is different in the US, but okay. Can actually put the cab light off now, and we can open the window. I keep sticking my head through the window. I have a very hard head in this game. Okay, so the train is already pushing into the yard where it's supposed to be. You just coast it all the way in then. What's our speed? It's dropping a bit, so let's keep it at 10. Just want to see that board. I think the can't remember what you call that board, but you need to push the entire train past that board. They call it something. It's a yard end limit board or something. I think here where I am they call it a yard end limit or something like that, or a line end limit. I can't remember. But this board, basically you need to push the train past this board. Otherwise, if you leave a train before the board and another train comes on the adjacent line, you might hit that train. For instance, if I stop there, if I go through here, you're gonna hit that train if it's standing there. So you need to push it behind this board so that trains on other lines passing this line can still pass without hitting the train on that line. So I just need to see where that we are in that board. And there we are passing it now, so we can apply the air brakes, or not the air brakes, the train brake, and there we have it. So I'm gonna apply the independent, release the air brake, make sure that is off, neutral, and turn off all the lights quickly. For now I'm gonna leave it idling because we're gonna stow the train as well. I'm gonna put it to sleep as well. So we just put one handbrake on, which for this game is sufficient. You only need to put one handbrake on to finish the job. So I think in IRL they actually put on a few, especially on heavier trains, which makes sense. So now we just run to the station office and then we finish the job quickly, and then we'll go put away our train, or our locomotive, sorry. The train is put to bed already. 34 minutes. What's the time bonus? 45. Okay, so that's basically the entire amount that other job would have. Okay, so we made up for that. Would have brought in without its time bonus, I must add. Okay, so now we make Lakamula. Now let's go put away our train. I like doing that. So the train is over there now. I'm gonna push it in here where this locomotive is. Just gonna double check that I did disconnect the train. I did disconnect the train, because sometimes I do forget to do that and then I make an ass of myself. There we go. Let's coast through the yard now. So yeah, we arrived here at City Southwest now. Offloaded our train, got the job complete, made some nice money. So if you guys liked today's video, please leave a like and subscribe, and please comment down below if you have any suggestions or something you would like to share with us. Please let me know if you know anything about the stuff we talked about during the session. Please let me know down in the comments. I would really love to learn more about this stuff. And I really hope you guys have a lovely day further, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.